and then the Rain Wild River. The marshy banks and mud bars offered easy hunting as river mammals emerged on the shores to root and roll as the forest creatures sought water. If she were fortunate, as she had been last night, she could combine a stoop on a large meal with a safe landing on a marshy riverfront strip. If she were unfortunate, she could always land in the river shallows and crawl out onto whatever bank the river offered. That, she feared, might be her best option this evening. And while she did not doubt that she could survive such an unpleasantly cold and wet landing, she dreaded the thought of attempting to take flight from such a place, as she had to do now. Wings half extended, she walked down to the water's edge and drank, wrinkling her nostrils at the bitter taste of the water. Once she had sated her thirst, she opened her wings and sprang into the sky. With a wild flapping of her wings, she crashed back to earth again. It was not a long fall, but it jarred her, breaking her pain into sharp-edged fragments that stabbed every interior space of her body. The shock jabbed the air from her lungs and crushed a hoarse squawk of pain from her throat. She hit the ground badly, her wings still half open. Her tender side struck the earth. Stunned, she sprawled, waiting for the agony to pass. It did not, but gradually it faded to a bearable level. Tintaglia lowered her head to her chest, gathered her legs under her, and slowly folded her wings. She badly wanted to rest, but if she did, she would awaken hungrier and stiffer than she was now, and with the daylight fading. No, she had to fly, and now. The longer she waited, the more her physical abilities would wane. She needed to fly while she still could. She steeled herself to the pain, not allowing her body to compensate for it in any way. She simply had to endure it and fly as if it did not hurt. She burned that thought into her brain, and then, without pausing, opened her wings, crouched, and launched herself upward. Every beat of her wings was like being stabbed with a fiery spear. She roared, giving voice to her fury at the pain, but did not vary the rhythm of her wing beats. Rising slowly into the air, she flew over the shallows of the river until finally she lifted clear of the trees that shaded the river's face. The one sunlight touched her, and the wilder winds of the open air buffeted her. The breezes were heavy with the threat of chilling rain to come. Well, let it come then. Tintaglia was flying home. Day the 15th of the fish moon. Year the 7th of the Independent Alliance of Traders. From Rael, acting keeper of the birds, Bingtown, to Eric Dunwarrow, enclosed in a standard message cylinder. My dear uncle, my delayed response to your offer is due to my utter surprise at receiving it. Over and over I have read it, wondering if I am ready, and more, if I am worthy of what you propose. To vouch for my promotion not only to a master within the guild, but also to select me to take over your personal birds and coat. What can I say to such an honour? I know what these pigeons mean to you, and I have faithfully studied your breeding journals and your documentation of how you have improved the birds for both speed and vitality. I have been in awe of your knowledge, and now you propose to put your birds and your careful breeding plan into my hands. I shudder to think you will take this amiss, but I must ask you, are you certain you wish to do this? If, after consideration, you still wish to offer me this extraordinary opportunity, then yes, I will accept it, and endeavour for all the rest of my life to prove worthy of it. But be assured, if you have reconsidered, there will be no ill will between us. To know that you even considered me worthy of such an honour and responsibility makes me resolved to strive to be the keeper that you believe I can be. With humble thanks, your nephew, Rael. And please assure my Aunt Detosi of my good wishes and utter delight in her good fortune in wedding you. Chapter 1. Ending a Life. She opened her eyes to a morning she didn't want. With great reluctance, she lifted her head and looked around the single room. The cabin was cold. The fire had been out for hours, and the cold and damp of the unseasonably cool spring had crept relentlessly in, while she huddled under her worn blankets, waiting for her life to go away. It hadn't. Life had lingered to